This video we will look at UPSERT operation. What is UPSERT? UPSERT, it comes from the word update and insert. Update and insert. It means insert row into database if they do not exist, or update if they already exist. We will look at the single UPSERT case and the bulk UPSERT case using store procedure, where we pass a XML payload into a store procedure and use a temp table to do the set-based SQL UPSERT. First, we will check on the cloud integration help file first. You will see that it mentioned UPSERT operation is currently not supported for XML SQL format. It's recommended to use store procedure to do the UPSERT. While if you go to this XML protocol, XML SQL format, you will see an update insert. This is currently not supported. This is from the PIPO documentation. Yeah, just take note, don't try this. It won't work until if any future mentioned by SAP is supported. If really the case. Okay, then now look at the first example, the UPSERT. Actually, I tested we can do the UPSERT directly in the with multiple statement. This is only one of the way to write it, where we have different approach to write the UPSERT, and for different database we have different way also. So far I tested this way, work for SQL Server. How it works is, it first try to do an update case. Update this customer by customer ID. If row count equal to 0, means there's no row impacted. This row count means what are the row that impacted, means either how many row updated, how many row insert. If you want to know more, you will have to check on this, find out more on the SQL documentation. Yeah, okay, back to here. If there is no update, means it's a new record, then we will do the insert. Okay, for now, let's see. Okay, now the table is empty. We will do UPSERT. Again, don't rely on this if it's a multiple statement separate by the semicolon. Modify from here. Select again. Now we can see one record inserted. This is a name form insert, which is from here. So now if we run it again, now this one is show one row affected. Check again. Currently is insert, and select all again. Now it change to name from update, means updated already. Okay, this is the one of the way to do UPSERT using semicolon multi-statement. Next, we're going to explore try on store procedure. First, we will see how to execute store procedure first. And the store procedure we're going to run is this one. If you want to view the store procedure, you right click on modify. You will see what the procedure is doing. You will select from order table and filter by customer ID. And the customer ID is an input parameter. If you right click execute and put the customer ID, the customer ID that I aware that I prepare is this one of the customer ID in Northwind customer table. So I execute this, I will get it result back. So let's see how to execute. The store procedure is as simple as this one. For the direct SQL, you just put the store procedure name, and this is the parameter name. Start with alias add this character, and then equal, and then the value here in this format. If it's a multiple parameter, you separate the parameter by comma. So this one, if I execute and I get the response back, again this one I'm not sure why. It could be, let me just try whether it works or not. It doesn't work. But anyway, yeah, as long as it's always consistent, you still can do something about it. Important is the content that is really returning. Okay, then this is a direct SQL way, and let's see on the XML SQL how to do it. A similar pattern apply. Now the action is execute. This is store procedure name, and the customer ID is a parameter. We specify this whether this is a input parameter or output parameter, and the type is required. This is count from here under execute. So you can refer here and the type can be this kind of type. Yep, you can try for different type for your different scenario if you happen to work with different data type. So execute. So we get the response also. Here a bit different from what the direct SQL way. So you have to take note on the different. Okay, now we see how to call to a standard pre-exit store procedure in this Northwind database. Next, we're going to write a store procedure, create a store procedure that do the UPSERT operation on special customer table. How to do it is using this store procedure piece of code. I will show you step by step. From the store procedure, click on this store procedure 3 dot, and all this template you can, so confusing, you just delete all of them and then just paste this one. Make sure the database here is you drop down, select the one that you want to do. Okay, let's refresh one time. There is only object name upsert space character. I think somehow this is incorrect. Earlier I already created, but I already delete it. Let's execute it. Yep, command complete successfully. So now I refresh. I will see upsert special customer. Yep. And then we can do the upsert. The concept is same like this one, direct SQL. And now we're going to do upsert from here. Before that, let's see what are the value. The current value company is name from update, and we're going to upsert and then change it to name upsert. So send one row affected. Go back to here. So now change to name upsert. So it's already upsert already happened. If I delete, and I run again. Also, if we newly create, yep. Okay, this is a execute with the direct SQL. Next, we look at the XML SQL. So same like the example just now, execute all procedure XML SQL. Now we give two parameters like this one, and execute. Nothing returned back, but let's see. The name should be changed to a name from SP. Yep, it already update already. Okay, this is now so far this is only single record, but it's not much useful if we for SQL. We normally, if we deal with the last quantity, if we try to call one by one, then things will be very slow, take a lot of time. So next I also explore how to do the batch upsert, where we accept an XML payload and then use involving the temp table and do a set base update. I will create this store procedure first, then I will explain step by step. Create. Okay, now store procedure already created. Okay, this store procedure, it accept an XML payload or XML content. Here is a define input parameter with the XML tab. And the next step is we're using the command select something into temp table from XML nodes which is here XML data dot node, and we specify the path that we want. The sample XML is like this one. Let me open it in Notepad+. It's like this one. We want to take all the items, look it at the item. So we take it at the item level. This is the syntax, which frankly I'm not really familiar, but I managed to figure out this store procedure and it worked. For the details step how to create the store procedure, there's another topic by itself. Here is just to show you what I aware and tested. And this, you select the XML, the field from the item, and give it a name. Then you dynamically insert into this temp table. When this happens, it do two things. It create a temp table with the structure that you define and in the data tab, and then insert into the temp table. The syntax is start with the sharp character. Okay, then next is you update the actual table where you found a matching customer ID from the temp table. Which means if you found something that existing, you update it, update the actual table value from the temp table value. Okay, now your update is done. Next, whatever that not exit from the actual table, those customer ID that not exit in customer table, you do an insert. So this is a SQL set based UPSERT. It's not row by row. Row by row, things might go a bit slower, but this is a set base. It will be much faster. Yep, this is the UPSERT, and let's try run it. Okay, now in the database, in the table, let's see the current have how many. Okay, select. Now only have one record. This file A field file record. So now I do an execute. Here is show update count 1 because only have one record there. Somehow it just returned the update count. But if we now execute again to see, we can see 4 record is there already. Yep. So the first one is updated, and the 3 BCD is newly insert, so it won't throw an error. Even though now I run again, now update count is saying 4, and there's no error thrown also. Yep, update again. Yep, this is the store procedure. And if you want to, just another tip is, if you want to modify the database, the store procedure, right click, modify, and from here, let's say you want to step by step and check on the database, the XML that already passed over. If I do this, means I only take the XML payload and return it back. And you will see that something like this. I mean, step by step you can try. This is just to let you see what is really happening on this part. Okay, I better change it back. Okay, this is UPSERT. Yep. And that's all for this topic, UPSERT using store procedure. Thanks for your time.